Well, hey there everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Adam, thanks for hanging out with me again today. And on today's video, well, we're just putting together this Back to the Future Lego set. So I got this for Christmas. My mom gifted it to me. It was a heck of a surprise. I was not expecting it. And, 3 months later, I think it's time to finally get it put together. So I'm going to get everything kind of laid out. It's in a lot of parts bags. So most of it's going to be in parts bags, but I'll get it spread out. You guys can see kind of what I'm dealing with. 1,872 pieces. That's a lot of pieces. Now, some of them aren't used because there are 3 different versions you can make with this. You can do the original Back to the Future, Back to the Future 2, and Back to the Future 3 designs out of it. I'm going to build it up in the standard Back to the Future 1 lip design, and we can easily change it up. It's basically exterior bits. Everything mechanically wise is the same for all 3, so it's just swapping out some external bits to change it from movie to movie. So I'm going to get everything laid out. I'm going to take pictures along the way, and we'll put that into montage, and I'll be back once we have the built car. Well, alright guys, here is the finished Lego kit. It was a very, very fun build. Now, it is an involved build. There is a lot of pieces to this. I've never built a operational car kit before. You know, my Lego adventures were when I was this big, mainly. So I have built recently the Christmas Vacation house and the Cousin Eddie's RV. Those were knockoff kits, and while they still had a lot going on, nowhere near as involved as one of these cars. And, you know, this was fun. Everything fits together so nicely. You know, there's some little weird bits to it, but, you know, you just kind of have to take some things as they are just to make everything mechanically work. Now, the hood opens, the doors open, the flux capacitor in there lights up. Now, they do sell a standalone light kit, which I think lights up all the little go fast Back to the Future things. So you have lights through here, lights around the front bumper and everything, and I think some underglow lights that you can add to it. But, you know, kind of expensive, and, you know, just for a display model, I'm not too worried about it. The little light up flux capacitor is really cool. So like I said, the doors open up, and there's a full interior. So you have the steering wheel, the seats, the gear shifter, the dashboard, all has gauges and everything on there. So both doors do open up. So you have the Gullwing style. Now, they don't want to stay up. They do kind of fall, which is fine. You know, it's going to be displayed on the with them down. Now, the hood does open, so you can pop the hood up and it will stay up. And inside you have the hoverboard, and you have a little tiny plutonium case. I'll put a bigger picture of that up. And the little plutonium case opens up, and there are two little tiny bits of plutonium in there, so that's pretty cool. Now, like I said, the mechanically wise, this is designed for 1, 2, and 3. So it does still have the feature to flip the wheels and put it in flight mode. So there's a little lever underneath. You pull that, and it just flips the wheels down. They stay in position, and you can put it in flight mode. Now, it does have little clear bricks underneath, so you can put it in like a display in flight mode, and it's not resting on the mechanical bits. So that was pretty cool. But the engine bay back here is really nice. The only complaint I have about this is the way that these things are mounted. If you bump one of them, they pop right off. It's not a big deal, but, you know, I wish they had kind of come up with a little bit more of a secure mounting for these, especially since they stick up so big. I think I've knocked this one off a dozen times since putting those on. But overall, it's really cool. And like I said, it has the little light up flux capacitor. I'll get a better view of you, but it, you know, you have a little push button down here. There's a little rubber spring bit that pushes it back up. You know, everything is so well thought out about this car. Rolls nice. So it was a very, very fun, you know, interesting build. You've got the DMC on the grill, you've got the out of time on the rear, and yeah, it's just very, very, very well laid out. And like I said, you get all the parts and pieces to change it from this to the Back to the Future, more sci-fi looking, and then over to the Old West look for Back to the Future 3. So very, very cool kit. I was very, yeah, I had a great time building it. I think I spent 4 nights, 4 evenings down here, and you know, some were more of a struggle than others. That was basically just because I was tired and, you know, having to go, what? And then manual. Now, the manual is enormous. Now, the only reason it's so thick is because you will build basically a piece for the left-hand side and then a piece for the right-hand side. 8 steps on 3 or 4 pages for the left-hand side piece. And then they go through and they build the right-hand side piece. So instead of just saying, you know, build 2 but mirror it, they lay out everything perfectly so there's no confusion of where things go. You know, you build the left-hand piece, you install it. You build the right-hand piece, you install it. So very, very well laid out manual. And the only step in here is step 210, and I'll take a picture so you guys can see it. But basically, you're putting 2 blank pieces back here to make up kind of the rear spoiler area. But in the steps before, you made up another piece. They don't show that installed. They have it highlighted in red, but it is super, super, super easy to miss in here because they don't show that chunk going on along with this step. Other than that, everything in here is super well laid out. And I was a bit concerned because there is a lot of, you know, red pieces and yellow pieces and blue pieces that I'm like, you know, the DeLorean is basically black, silver, and gray. Why are there so many colors? They basically are using those brightly colored pieces and oddball colored pieces to make them stand out so you can see where the different pieces go easily. Everything is hidden. You know, I mean, granted, you pick it up and there's a lot of red and yellow and whites and everything underneath, but you're not going to be really looking underneath the car. But that definitely, the white was the front of the car, the red was the rear of the car, so it kept your orientation in the manual and what you've got sitting in front of you very easy to figure out because, you know, for the longest time, you're building up something that you have no idea what is the front, what is the back, you know, what am I even building? Because that whole center mechanical piece that is the core of the chassis, I had no idea. It looked nothing like a car. It wasn't until you started putting body panels on that you realized, okay, the white part's the front of the car and the red part's the rear of the car. You know, you're just putting parts on as it's shown in the manual, but having those different colored pieces really helps, you know, oh, needs to go up on the white end, this needs to go back here on the red end, and, you know, just made it really, really nice to understand what you were putting together. Now, the kit also comes with a little Back to the Future plaque and Doc and Marty figurines. I was kind of confused because they're so small. Like, you get these in the bag, I stuck them together real quick, and I'm like, well, they're like miniature compared to the car, which they're supposed to be. This just goes along with it to display with the car to, you know, explain the Back to the Future car. So manufacturers, Doc E. Brown Enterprises. It was a 1985 DeLorean. It was 1.21 gigawatts power. The fuel was plutonium, and the activation speed is 88 miles an hour. So just a cool little display piece to go along with it when you put it in a display case. So I like that a lot. Now, we'll be getting a little acrylic display case for this. I may end up taking this off just because it's so big. But it looks perfectly fine with it because this is how it started off in the beginning of the movie. So anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you guys with an up-close, you know, twirl around on the display stand and some up-close pictures of the flux capacitor and all that stuff like I promised. And that's going to be it for this one. Until next one, guys, everybody out there, you guys be happy, be healthy, be safe, and I'll talk to you later. See ya.